Featuring Ella Langley, Cody Johnson featuring Brothers Osborne, and more. See you May 5th. Presented by SoFi, Thursday on ABC.
Well, it's Disney's Bring Your Kids to Work Day, and some of our staff's children are in our studio. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hi. Nice to see y'all. Sarah and Alyssa are on our Behind the Table podcast today. We want you all to have a great day, everyone. Take a little time to enjoy the view, and don't forget, you're not in this alone. We're all in it together. We'll see you tomorrow.
Some of the most powerful Democrats and Republicans in the country were on Epstein Island. It seems the only thing the party establishments can agree on is a love of Jeffrey Epstein and a hatred of me. I'm Graham Platt, and I approve this message because together we will take back our government from the Epstein class.
As a doctor in rural Maine, we're already seeing the impact. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage. Our hospitals are closing, and the worst is yet to come. But Susan Collins gave Trump a blank check for his war in Iran. Billions of dollars that we could use here in Maine. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
Some of the most powerful Democrats and Republicans in the country were on Epstein Island. It seems the only thing the party establishments can agree on is a love of Jeffrey Epstein and a hatred of me. I'm Graham Platt, and I approve this message because together we will take back our government from the Epstein class.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
A funeral service is being held today for a firefighter who died from the injuries he sustained in the Robbins lumber mill fire and explosion. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. The town of Lincoln approved a budget that will cut public safety spending, and authorities suspect the improper disposal of batteries caused this month's fire at the trash facility in Orrington. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Chase Ropanek. Chase?
Thank you very much. Another warm start to our morning here in Bangor for your Wednesday. 57 degrees once again here. You got some mid-50s in Bar Harbor, 57 as well in Machias, but we did have some cooler temperatures up north, Clayton Lake. Starting off your morning in the mid-40s at 46 degrees. As we go throughout the rest of your afternoon forward today, you're going to see some chances for showers and thunderstorms across the northern tier of the state. That's for areas like Millinocket, Clayton Lake into Presque Isle and Holton, but we look to stay dry here in Bangor for your Wednesday afternoon. Staying dry tonight as well, some partly cloudy skies. As we head into your Thursday, we look to warm up, but there will be another chance for some more showers and thunderstorms closer to the Bangor region. So winds out there, a little breezy. We're going to continue to see that reaching near gusts near 25 miles per hour. But once we get into the evening hours for tonight, winds look to lighten up nicely, and they'll stay light throughout tonight into tomorrow. There may be a breeze that returns for your Thursday and some gusty winds that you can see underneath some more thunderstorms. But as you see, plenty of sunshine out there for today with us. Partly cloudy skies, more cloud cover further north with those showers and thunderstorms. Those look to stay out of here. So we got highs reaching the upper 70s for today, and as we go into tomorrow, we'll continue to warm up with low 80s for your Thursday.
Thank you, Chase. Firefighters from across the state will gather in Belfast today for the funeral of Wayne Woodbury, the Searsmont Assistant Fire Chief who died from injuries he suffered while battling the fire in Searsmont last month. Grace Blanchard joins us live from Belfast. Grace?
Hey, Susan. Well, people have already started gathering here at the Belfast Area High School to celebrate and honor the life of Searsmont Assistant Fire Chief Wayne Woodbury this afternoon. Woodbury died on June 14th at 76 years old, weeks after being injured in the Robbins lumber fire and explosion that also killed Morrill firefighter Andrew Cross and injured several others, many of whom are still recovering. According to his obituary, Woodbury had been a volunteer firefighter for the Belmont and Searsmont areas since he was around 16 years old. And we will likely be hearing more from people this afternoon at the service about his more than 60 years of dedication to the fire service. We're told the service will also include an honor guard, pipes and drums, and I've already seen a very large showing of firefighters from departments all across the state that have come here to honor their fallen firefighter. Governor Janet Mills has also ordered that flags be lowered statewide in Woodbury's honor today. Now, the funeral is expected to begin at 1 p.m. We will be broadcasting that live on Fox 22 and on our website, foxbangor.com, for folks that would like to tune in to the memorial service. Live in Belfast, I'm Grace Blanchard. Susan, back to you.
Thank you, Grace. Governor Janet Mills has ordered both the United States and state of Maine flags to be lowered to half-staff across Maine today in honor of late Searsmont Assistant Fire Chief Wayne Woodbury. He was one of the 2 firefighters who died June 14th as a result of the explosion and fire at the Robbins Lumber Mill in Searsmont. Funeral services are being held at 1 o'clock today, as Grace mentioned, and it will be at the Belfast Area High School. Flags are expected to be flown at half-staff until sunset today. The City of Brewer invites residents, businesses, and community organizations from across our region to join them this Thursday night for a community fundraiser to support families impacted by that tragedy at Robbins Lumber Mill. The Neighbors Helping Heroes event kicks off at 6 o'clock Thursday night at the Brewer Auditorium, located at 318 Wilson Street. The family-friendly event includes food, face painting, bounce houses, touch-a-truck displays featuring local fire departments and emergency vehicles, and a family movie to conclude the evening. This is an all-donation event, and 100% of the proceeds will go to the Waldo County Firefighters Association. Brewer Fire says not only will the money help the families affected, but it will also help affected communities and fire departments who rushed in to help and lost equipment in the explosion and fire.
I believe there were 3 fire trucks that were destroyed in this tragedy. And then the various equipment, we have turnout gear that we wear and our air packs. All that stuff is compromised or damaged and needs to be replaced. And unfortunately, it's rather expensive to replace.
He says there has been an outpouring from the support from the community. Again, Neighbors Helping Heroes event kicks off at 6 o'clock Thursday night at the Brewer Auditorium, located at 318 Wilson Street. After a fiery town council meeting, Lincoln approved a town budget that is slated to drastically cut spending for public safety and other departments. Public safety officials are warning these upcoming cuts will present significant operational challenges in the year ahead. Our Grace Blanchard has more.
Major reductions in services are on the horizon for the town of Lincoln.
We've got to right-size government, because if we don't, people are going to continue to leave.
Monday night, the town council approved a $9.9 million budget following a series of 4-3 votes for fiscal year 2027.
I don't think it's going to be worth it.
The budget is a major reduction from the $11.5 million budget proposed by the town manager. Councillor Gordon Street fears this move will drive more people out of town.
The town of Lincoln is a service business, and we are effectively turning around and saying, sorry, we're not going to serve you anymore.
Some of the biggest cuts are to public safety.
It's going to be a big hurt for the department.
The fire and EMS budget has been reduced by more than $300,000. 80% of that budget goes towards payroll. Fire Chief Les Brown says the budget cuts could reduce the number of full-time personnel from 20 to 14, impacting emergency response efforts.
They dial 911, we will be there, but maybe not with the crew that we should have to respond.
Funding for the physical fire station was also reduced.
If we have doors that break, if we have a furnace that goes down, if we have a breathing air compressor goes down, we're not going to have the money to repair it.
The police department's budget was also slashed by around 20%. Chief Lee Miller says they are hopeful to avoid reducing staff, but several vacant positions will likely remain unfilled.
Having the proper supervision, the proper training for these officers is really important, and that's going to be significantly decreased.
The effort to cut back on costs was spearheaded by Councillor David Ireland. In a statement shared with us, he argued that spending has increased dramatically over the last decade, and the burden has been placed on property taxpayers. Spending for departments like Public Works and Recreation have also been cut.
We're going to put our town taxpayers at risk. It's terrible what they put us into.
The budget will take effect on July 1st. Chief Brown says they could see staff reductions within the next 3 to 4 months. In Lincoln, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The Bangor City Council has approved a $145 million budget. It includes money for another assistant city solicitor and 8 new firefighters. There is also funding for a housing response coordinator. Councilor Susan Falloon voted against the budget, saying she supported the new positions in general, but when the budget was presented, they were told it was supposed to be a starting point, and the new implementation of new positions was expected to be more gradual.
The budget largely looks the same as it was when it was originally presented. So while the overall tax burden was reduced from what was originally proposed, that largely happened by shuffling money, not by eliminating expenses.
The budget was passed by a 5-3 vote. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help in identifying individuals they believe may be connected to recent burglaries in Herman. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is investigating a burglary at 90 Diesel Shop Road in Herman. They say this location has targeted repeatedly, with individuals breaking into the building and causing property damage. They say the most recent incident was late Saturday night. You can see the property's surveillance cameras captured several images of the alleged suspects in the latest break-in. If you have any information on who may be in these photos or the case itself, you're asked to contact the Sheriff's Department. The Waterville Police Department is asking for the public's help in finding a missing man. Police say 54-year-old Eric Cullen was last seen leaving his home on June 1st. He hasn't been heard from since. If you have any information on his whereabouts, please contact the Waterville Police Department. And just before 11:30 Tuesday morning, firefighters were called to a structure fire off Route 102 in Bar Harbor. The fire was upgraded to a third alarm, bringing in mutual aid companies from across the region. Departments as far away as Ellsworth responded. According to the Bar Harbor Story, Route 102 was shut down for a while as emergency responders worked at the scene. With no fire hydrants available in the area, Trenton Fire Chief Steve Heckman says his department helped coordinate a water shuttle operation, transporting thousands of gallons of water to support firefighting efforts. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. That case has been turned over to the State Fire Marshal's office. Authorities suspect the improper disposal of batteries caused this month's fire at the trash facility in Orrington. Investigators say the fire at Eagle Point Energy began in the trash reclaim area. They believe it could have been burning for hours before it was discovered. We'll have more news in just a moment.
I served 2 tours in the Middle East, 21 years in the Air Force.
I served in a field artillery unit.
The Maine National Guard.
I respect Graham Plattner's service, but he doesn't respect ours.
Plattner falsely accused a military hero of war crimes.
He said a Purple Heart recipient didn't deserve to live after being shot, trying to save his own troops.
And Plattner blames his Nazi tattoo on military culture? That's insulting. Graham Plattner's a fraud. He's unfit to represent Maine.
Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I got hurt by a big truck. Why did I call the twos? Because life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. We got a client who broke multiple bones in a commercial vehicle accident, $700,000. Call the twos. We win for you.
This spring, invest in your nest with the County Federal Credit Union. Your home has grown in value, season after season. With the county's 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, you can borrow up to your credit limit over 10 years, with interest-only payments over those 10 years, 10-10. And then you can stop and smell the roses, soak up the sun, and invest in your nest. The 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, the County Federal Credit Union, countyfcu.org.
Your internet experience feels different, ultra reliable, lightning fast. With Fidium 100% fiber, everything you do online works exactly like it should.
Night, bud. Zach, go to bed.
So is cable internet still slowing you down? Enough already. Fiber up to Fidium. Get a 2 gig plan for only $65 a month at fidiumfiber.com.
Situated in Jonesboro on the coast of Maine lies Barren View Golf Course, a true links course that's a treat for golfers of all skill levels. We feature a driving range, putting green, practice sand trap, pro shop, and snack bar. Open 7 days a week. Please call ahead for a tee time.
This spring, invest in your nest with the County Federal Credit Union. Your home has grown in value season after season. With the county's 10-10 home equity line of credit, you can borrow up to your credit limit over 10 years with interest-only payments over those 10 years, 10-10. And then you can stop and smell the roses, soak up the sun, and invest in your nest. The 10-10 home equity line of credit, the County Federal Credit Union, countyfcu.org.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
With the midterms looming, President Trump is set to meet with Republican senators. He's expected to face questions about the war with Iran after some Republicans joined Democrats to pass a measure that would end the war unless he gets congressional approval. ABC's Rachel Scott has the latest.
This morning, President Trump preparing to head to Capitol Hill just hours after the Senate delivered a rare rebuke.
The yeas are 50, the nays are 48. The concurrent motion is agreed to.
4 Republicans joining Democrats to end the war in Iran unless the president seeks congressional approval.
Congress has a constitutional role. Obviously, it's going differently than originally we were told it was going to go.
The vote is largely symbolic and is unlikely to force any change in policy, but reflects a growing concern within the Republican Party 4 months into a war that's unpopular with the American people. The president was in Pennsylvania as that vote went down, praising the negotiations amid conflicting messages between the U.S. and Iran.
Iran's been great. I mean, if Iran's reasonable, if they're smart, otherwise we'll have to finish the job.
The Trump administration says a deal has been reached to allow inspections of Iran's nuclear facilities, but Iran flat out denies it.
They're wrong. They're wrong. They know they're wrong. They told us inside, and we have it down 100% inspections. And if they were right, I'd cancel the meetings right now.
This morning, the head of the UN's nuclear agency signaling Iran's nuclear sites would be inspected, but it's unclear when.
Whether this happens the day after tomorrow or in 1 week or in 10 days, it's important but not essential. So this is going to happen.
Rachel Scott, ABC News, Washington.
A group of conservatives is demanding the state do more to oversee Medicare spending. Conservative group Lead Maine says it submitted more than 3,000 certified voter signatures to DHHS. The group is petitioning the government to adopt 2 new rules on Medicare spending. One would require a state auditor to be physically on site when inspecting a provider. This second rule would suspend future payments to a provider accused of improper payments.
Greater accountability will only strengthen this program to ensure that the funds are available for the vulnerable Mainers who need it. These 2 rules will help make sure that the program that serves them is honest, it's transparent, and it's accountable to the taxpayers who fund it.
Governor Mills said in a video statement in March that the state is conducting oversight to ensure that Maine care providers are held to high standards of care and that any fraud is investigated and prosecuted. CMP wants to raise your power bill by about $18 a month. The Maine Public Utilities Commission met in Lewiston where they debated that request. Julia Simone shows us the reason for the plan and those who showed up to fight back against the increase.
Back in April, Central Maine Power requested to increase their rates, but CMP customers are pushing back, saying their electricity bills are already too high. If the rate request is approved as proposed, the average customer would see their bill drop by $4 a month in the short term. But starting next year, that bill would go up about $18 per month or $216 per year. Critics say a significant portion of the increase will boost profits for CMP's overseas investments. CMP says the investment would reduce future storm costs and support Maine's clean energy transition. As part of their request, CMP also wants to establish a multi-year rate plan. But many of their customers rallied before the hearing tonight, opposing the proposed rate change.
People are struggling, and again, Maine has the 5th highest rates in the nation already. So for CMP to come in and ask for their profits to be increased, and by the way, their revenues would increase by $190 million per year, it's just untenable.
After the break, strawberry season is underway, but growers are facing some challenges. We'll be right back.
As a doctor in rural Maine, we're already seeing the impact. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage. Our hospitals are closing, and the worst is yet to come. But Susan Collins gave Trump a blank check for his war in Iran. Billions of dollars that we could use here in Maine. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
I got hurt by a big truck. Why did I call the twos? Because life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money, and I'll fight to get it for you. We got a client who broke multiple bones in a commercial vehicle accident, $700,000. Another client had a brain injury, and we got them $1.15 million. If you get hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
We can go into a room and have absolutely nothing in there, nothing on the windows, no color, no character, no tone to a room.
That's, I think, where we're strongest, is being able to help someone envision what's going to go in that window.
And we leave, it's totally transformed into something that the customer wants it to be. We've often been told we make a room look better just by leaving it.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Biggest political scandal in Maine? Susan Collins and her lobbyist husband. Collins sought a committee to influence government contracts, then oversaw more than $76 million in taxpayer dollars going to his company. She watered down and voted against the anti-corruption efforts that would have stopped it. She voted for new forever wars that gave billions to companies they invested in. They made millions. They get rich, Maine pays the price. To invest at home, ban billionaires from buying elections. Stop the corruption. Vote Plattner.
I'm Grant Plattner, and I approve this message.
Every year right about now, we get all sorts of requests from many of you who are looking for ways to use zucchini. And from what I can tell from your emails, you either grow zucchini in your garden and you have an endless supply, or you buy tons of it at the market since it's so darn cheap. Either way, I have a recipe that can turn that bounty into a change of pace bake that goes together like this. All we do after grating a few zucchini is add some beaten eggs, Parmesan cheese, some chopped onion, a good amount of flour, biscuit baking mix, a bit of vegetable oil, and a slew of spices, and give it a good mix. Then we pour it into an 8-inch square baking dish. While that bakes, we can throw some chicken in a grill pan or on the grill, and dinner is done in just minutes. When you cut this into squares, it won't be long before everyone is devouring your new creation. And once they do, you can bet they'll love it. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for zucchini squares, so you'll be armed with a recipe that is not only budget-friendly this time of year, but one that's truly amazing. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a summary way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
It's officially strawberry season here in Maine, but as our Alex Schley tells us, extreme weather patterns over the past year have created challenges for some central Maine growers.
Fresh Maine strawberries may be a bit harder to find this year.
Our strawberry season's kind of coming to an end. It's started a little early, so I think we probably get to Saturday, but our U-pick is done.
A couple of towns over, however, the season is just getting underway at Tree Ridge Family Orchard in Levant.
This is the beginning, yep. So I'm hoping to be going strong through the 4th of July.
The difference highlights the challenges growers face after a year marked by both droughts and then heavy rain, and wildly different growing conditions from one farm to the next. Farmers say last summer's drought put a significant stress on the strawberry plants. Only some of the strawberry fields at Thunder Road Farm are equipped with irrigation.
So that stress of the, the hot summer with no rain, And then a lot of rain this year. It's just, hasn't helped them.
Owners say the drought's effects are still being felt this season.
Yeah, it's bad for the roots. They can't produce the sugar like they should, and then if the berries get wet and they sit there, then they rot quickly.
Owner says strawberries are one of the most demanding crops he grows.
My growing friends call them struggle berries, so they take a lot more TLC than my other crops.
Despite these challenges, farm owners say customers should not expect higher prices.
We're not going to up it a lot to try to make up for our issues that we have in the field.
Growers say fresh Maine strawberries should remain available through the 4th of July. But with conditions varying from farm to farm, they recommend calling ahead before heading out to pick. In Levant, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
When we return, Chase Ropanak has your 5-day forecast.
Some of the most powerful Democrats and Republicans in the country were on Epstein Island. It seems the only thing the party establishments can agree on is a love of Jeffrey Epstein and a hatred of me. I'm Graham Platt, and I approve this message because together we will take back our government from the Epstein class.
Do you take propane tank?
Anything goes.
How about cardboard?
Anything goes.
How about old rug?
Yeah, anything goes.
So this too?
Furniture removal, basements, garages, attics, hoarder houses. It doesn't matter here at Anything Goes Junk Removal. Anything goes. Well, almost anything.
Commercial vehicles can be dangerous, and they usually carry big insurance policies. So whether you're hurt by a landscaping truck like this, a work van like this, or a big rig like this, we know commercial vehicle accidents, and we know how to get you the big money you may deserve. If any commercial vehicle hurts you, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a commercial vehicle? Call the twos. We win for you. Call 222-2222.
Hi, Todd from Dorsey Furniture here, and our red tag furniture and mattress clearance sales going on now. We have a special purchase of overstocked flex steel sofas, love seats, chairs, and recliners at least half off list. Famous maker, queen size, showroom sample mattresses half off list. The largest selection of recliners and lift chairs in the Bangor area, with lift chairs starting at $7.99. Extreme values like this won't last long, so come check us out today. And thank you for supporting a Maine family-owned company. Be comfortable, my friends.
Some of the most powerful Democrats and Republicans in the country were on Epstein Island. It seems the only thing the party establishments can agree on is a love of Jeffrey Epstein and a hatred of me. I'm Graham Platt, and I approve this message because together we will take back our government from the Epstein class.
Let's check your full forecast with Chase Ropanak. Chase?
Thank you very much. Your Maine weather today is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. All right, as we saw for this morning, another very similar start as to yesterday morning. Lows at 57 degrees here in Bangor, mid-50s for Bar Harbor. Some areas right around 60. You're seeing that in Augusta and Portland for this morning, but much cooler well up north. Clayton Lake starting off their morning in the mid-40s out there. Average highs this time of year right around the mid to upper 70s. We're looking to reach for those upper 70s for today and low 80s for tomorrow. But a bit of a cool down Friday due to the showers and thunderstorms, cloudy skies throughout the day. But we'll have no issues warming up right after that. Upper 70s, low 80s for your weekend, and that continues into your Monday and Tuesday. So as you can see, winds for today on the backside of that low are a little breezy out there. We're going to see some gusts reach up to 25 miles per hour in some spots for the peak afternoon hours for today, right around 3 to 4 p.m. But those winds will lighten up quickly after that into the evening hours, and overnight tonight we'll see some light and variable conditions leading into your Thursday morning. But there can be a little bit more wind to be had for your Thursday afternoon. We do see another round of showers and thunderstorms possible, so of course there can be some gusty winds underneath those thunderstorms. So for today, the thunderstorms look to stay north of town, mainly for areas like Millinocket, Clayton Lake, into the Presque Isle, Holton area for today. Those will be just some general thunderstorms, no severe threat with those, but you can get some nice downpours. But we'll stay dry all across the state for tonight. But into tomorrow, partly cloudy skies leading to that chance here. You can see during the late afternoon hours, right around 4 to 5 p.m. for some more thunderstorms. Some of these can be a bit stronger, packing a punch, but again, not so much a severe threat with these, but there will be some thunder, some downpours with this, and gusty winds. This will continue, though, to lighten up a bit and become more widespread, especially heading to your Friday. That's when we're really looking at better chances for showers and thunderstorms all across the state. So for today, highs getting close to 80, partly cloudy skies, but we got those chances for some showers and thunderstorms staying north of town for today. So we're going to stay dry here in Bangor. For tonight, all of us dry. We'll have some areas of dense fog, partly cloudy skies, and lows in the mid-50s. But for tomorrow, we may have a better shot at some showers and thunderstorms here in town, although we'll be arriving a little bit later in the day, so still looking to reach the low 80s with partly cloudy skies before that, and that southwest breeze right around 5 to 15 miles per hour. So here's a look at your extended forecast. Upper 70s today, low 80s for tomorrow. We can see some showers and thunderstorms for both days, and the main event, though, will be Friday. More widespread showers and thunderstorms, highs in the upper 60s, but no issues with warming up right after that. Partly cloudy Saturday, upper 70s then, and low 80s heading into your Sunday.
Thank you, Chase. The Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife would like to remind you that it's Pollinator Week, so here's the buzz on how to protect these crucial creatures. First, add native plants to your garden, a wide variety that blooms in summer, spring, and fall, and will support pollinators in each stage of their life cycles throughout the whole growing season. Second, mind your mowing practices. Leaving some areas untouched, not mowing as often, and keeping your grass a little taller all serve to protect pollinator habitat. And finally, choose conservation, supporting healthy populations of native wildlife like birds, bats, amphibians, and dragonflies. They all can reduce on pesticides that can harm pollinators. Even a small patch of habitat makes a big difference for pollinating bees, butterflies, birds, and more. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.
Graham Plattner blamed women for getting raped. Who says something like that? Plattner said women should take some responsibility for themselves and not get so effed up they wind up having sex with someone they don't mean to. What's wrong with this guy?
Plattner said to avoid rape, women should act like an adult for F's sake. He's an awful person.
Graham Plattner is dangerous.
I would never vote for Graham Plattner.
Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.